you can see me. Hi everyone, we will get started in just a minute. We're just waiting for our guest, Miss Cynthia Flynn, to come in. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the WC to Life Purpose Coaching Podcast. And we are waiting for our guest, Miss Cindy Flynn, to come in and to speak with us about completing her mission and identifying the areas of how to complete what you start. And you guys, you have been rocking with me since I want to say, gosh, it's been 7 months now, you guys. So I'm glad you guys are here. And for the ones who's going to tune in later, thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. And thank you for listening to the commercial. All right, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in for the commercial. My guest, Cindy Flynn, is on her way. And I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. I know it's pretty cold out here in North Carolina. So thank you so much, you guys, for I'll turn the commercial music down. And I just want to converse with you guys before Miss Cindy Flynn come in. But I'm excited about this month still. We know that we are still in a, crazy, kind of crazy pandemic, but we're all getting through it. We're all getting along. And I just think that it's so important that this topic, completing the mission, is very needed and it's very valuable. And I'm happy that we are helping each other. I'm very grateful that we're helping each other and just trying to get others to get to different areas and complete the mission where we're at. And so, you guys, Miss Cindy is connecting, and I'm going to connect her. So I hope you guys enjoy, tell someone, follow, and share. Hey, Miss Cindy, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me, Karen?
I can. Thanks so much for joining us. I was just telling our audience about, how that it is important that we're talking about completing the mission and that how you were coming to join in with us. And there you go. So I'm going to just let you, introduce yourself and just want to let everybody out there know in the audience. Thank you guys for coming back to the WC to Life Purpose Coaching Podcast, and I have Mrs. Cindy Flynn here with me now. And I'm just going to have her introduce herself, and then we will get started with what we need to find out about completing the mission and how she complete her mission. So, Miss Cindy, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to everyone.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks so much for having me today. My name is Cindy Flynn. I'm an employment defense attorney, and I knew I was always going to be an attorney. I had parents who ran a business when I was younger, and they came up through some really difficult times with being entrepreneurs. And they got hit with employment lawsuits and unfortunately ended in bankruptcy and divorce. But I knew early on I wanted to be a lawyer, not a divorce lawyer, not a bankruptcy lawyer, but a lawyer to really help small businesses and medium-sized businesses grow and stay protected. So I started working at an employment law firm in high school. I ended up being there for 8 years. And, after I graduated law school, I worked at a few firms and then started my own employment practice. And we're based in Los Angeles in California. And I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much. And that sounds great. I can't wait to find out, Cindy, about your employment law enforcement. And I'm glad that others are tuning in and will be tuning in so they can find out everything about your mission and how you completed it. And just so everyone knows, I actually met Mrs. Cindy Flynn through the Mama podcast. So I guess that's going to be my first question. How did you, Cindy? How did you get hooked up with the uh, the Mamas group? Can you tell a little bit about tell everybody a little bit about that group? I'm a new member, so I don't know a lot, but I've been researching a lot, and I know that it's connected with entrepreneurs and women. So can you tell everybody how you got connected with that source?
Yes. So the group is Hey Mama, and it actually, I believe, started in New York and it's grown nationwide over the last several years. And a friend of mine, who's an entrepreneur and a mom as well, just like us, she joined the group and made a suggestion that I join it as well. And that was, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, a year or two
Wow.
ago. And it's been a great organization. And I feel so connected to the group because it's all moms who are women entrepreneurs. And I think it's a great organization to be a part of. And we get a lot of help. I know Karen and I get a lot of emails from the group every single day, but it's really nice to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Awesome. I know because when I found out about it, I found it on Facebook and I was researching everything and I was like, this is so cool and awesome. This is something that, a lot of women are doing as far as networking and having, just a mission and a firm foundation of arising entrepreneurs and still, like you said, single mothers and things that different areas where we're trying to get off the ground and how we just can connect with one another. And I was like, oh, I got to be a part. And so I'm glad to be a part and glad to be a member of that group. And if we have any single mothers out there or any, just inspiring entrepreneurs, please check out Hey Mamas. You can pretty much find them on all platforms. And so my second question for you, Miss Cindy, is how did you identify the area of your mission? Or first, I don't know, you may want to tell us, what does mission mean to you before you even identified what you needed to go forward with?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, mission is, and I have two missions that I was going to share. My husband and I are both entrepreneurs, and we both have totally separate businesses. He's in food manufacturing, and I'm a lawyer. And a few years ago, we were going through our business and developing the core values and the mission and the vision and things that differentiate us, right, between other law firms and other manufacturing companies. And so we sat down with both of our teams separately and really developed our core values, our mission, and our vision. And after we did that exercise with our team, we were in the car, which a lot of good conversations always come about in the car, we were talking about, well, what about our family mission? And what about our family core values? And what about our family vision with the two of us? We're so business oriented, but I think having something where you can come together with a family also makes a big difference too. So
Correct.
like our family mission is how I'm defining it or identifying the area of it is what it means to be in our family and uphold the family name. And then similarly with our business, it's like, or my business, it's like, what are we? And like, how can, and we get there by, I don't know if you've ever read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, but it's like, you're a lawyer. Well, why? Well, I like to help people. Well, why? And it's just like asking those whys to really get to your vision and your mission. So our family mission is to enhance the life of everyone we encounter. And then my work mission is that, we are protecting and defending business owners. And our mission is to ensure that no business owner gets sued with an employment lawsuit.
Okay, that's awesome. I like the fact that you said that you have two type of missions. You have a career mission and then a family mission, and that's so important. And I think that everybody out there in the community needs to know those foundations, especially when it comes to your family, especially when it comes to career background and everything. It's so important to make sure those are included, especially when you are building a legacy for family. So I'm glad that you said that. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, how did you? I mean, with Flynn and I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Flynn and Associates,
Yes,
the
Hackler, Flynn and
company?
Associates.
What was the? How did you identify that this is something that you and your family needed to pretty much push forward? What was it that you felt that the world or the people needed from Flynn and Associates?
Well, so in California, the law is so employee friendly, right? Anytime it's he said versus she said, they're going to side with the employee. Anytime any issue comes up, we're so employee friendly. And other states throughout the US are becoming more and more employee friendly as well. I mean, I just heard today that California has enacted this law that went into effect this year known as AB5. And it basically says anybody who works for you the presumption is that they are an employee, not an independent contractor. And you have to prove this uphill burden. Well, they're talking about extending that federally. And so all of our clients have such good hearts and they are such good business owners and they're really just focused on growing their business. And so our mission to ensure that no business owner gets sued in an employment lawsuit comes from the fact that, my parents went through some really difficult times and they ended in bankruptcy and divorce over these types of issues, right? And so our mission is just to keep business owners out of lawsuits, essentially. Yeah. Or once they are in one, defend them rigorously and get them out as quickly and as easily as possible.
Okay, that is awesome, and that is great, and that's very needed too. Even in today, it's always been needed just to keep, you know, employers or and businesses out of lawsuits. I don't, and I'm pretty sure people never really even thought about that, and that's very unique because when you're coming up with something, and like I said before, me personally, and you can piggyback if you would like, Cindy, but I feel like your purpose is pretty much a part of your mission, and that it all ties in together because you have something to give that something different and unique that nobody else may have to give, even though we may be in this entrepreneurship world together. But then it could be linked the same things and the same ideas, but it's always something unique and something different that someone out there needs, and just like you guys working with um, businesses and keeping them, you know, keeping them rooted and grounded and keeping them from getting lawsuits and everything. That's such a great idea. And you would never think that, I wouldn't even really never even, analyze that or thought about that. So how easy, well, I'm not even going to say how easy because I know everything that we do is a process. So as far as just getting the firm off the ground and everything, how was the task, and did you ever feel like that it wasn't gonna get completed? Did you ever feel like there was any stumbling blocks or anything in the way?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I have 10 people that work with me today. And when I started the firm, it was just me. I was doing everything, checking the mail, scanning the mail, making calls, representing clients in court, doing all the networking to bring in more business. And it's exhausting. And so, like, over the years, I've had my practice now for 7 years. And over the years, there's definitely been challenges. And I mean, we just stick with our true north, which is to ensure that no business owner gets sued in an employment lawsuit. And so anytime a challenge comes up or something happens, we ask ourselves, is this something that is going to help ensure that no business owner gets sued in an employment lawsuit? So that's really what our focus is and what our mission is at the firm.
That's awesome. How many clients do you guys or businesses you guys work with on a day-to-day basis, or does it vary?
It varies on a day-to-day basis, but we've at this point represented almost 1,000 businesses over the last
Awesome.
several years. Yeah. And, I mean, I say this all the time, but our whole focus is protecting and defending business owners. So it feels good to represent that many businesses over the years. And, it's impossible to count how many businesses we've saved from an employment lawsuit, but because you can't count a negative, of course, right, Karen?
Exactly.
But it is a lot of people that we've walked through over the years to ensure that they, if they are sued, it's nipped pretty fast, and what we do everything we can to prevent it in the first place.
That's awesome. So it's like they pretty much, let's just say, for an example, a business or contacts you, or just somebody from that business contacts you guys, and they may meet with you or consult with you guys and tell you guys the issue or the concern that may be going on. And so basically they're coming to you like, how do we prevent this, or how do we stop this from it escalating further, if I'm right or not?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that is awesome because that's a lot, 1,000. Wow, that's awesome to be helping those businesses keep those. I mean, to stop those lawsuits from even happening.
Well, exactly. And so that they can keep their doors open and that they can continue to provide jobs for people. And our businesses are small businesses. We're not talking about the 5,000 person companies, but these are the companies who are just trying to get off the ground, and they're entrepreneurs and they have like 5 employees or 10 employees. I
Correct.
mean, I was talking to one of my clients today that's a restaurant, and he opened the restaurant in January, and then the shutdown happened in March, and he's now being sued by 2 employees for different reasons for employment issues that could have been avoided. But he's struggling. He's struggling to keep his doors open. He's struggling now because in California they've just shut him down again yesterday to be at
Wow.
25% occupancy, and then to also face on top of that 2 employment lawsuits that are just frivolous, in my opinion. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, and you know what? Because yeah, sometimes it can be. I'm just like the season that we're in now with the whole COVID and quarantine. It can be you can. It's easy to get dismayed and a little discouraged, especially when you're having to keep you start back up and then you have to shut back down again. And
Right.
I understand the health and the concern of people and everything, but that can be, even with somebody, you may suing you for whatever, or trying to go ahead and sue you for certain reasons or whatever, and then having that, it can be uh I mean, it's kind of, I would say it's great, and that you guys come in, as the firm that you are, and you speak with these companies and you try to help them in any possible way that you can, being that they're going through not just one thing, but they're going through multiple things.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So I mean, so when you guys, how long has the firm been established?
I've had it for over 7 years now.
Wow.
I worked at a law firm prior to becoming a lawyer, and then two firms after passing the bar, and then started the practice
Awesome.
about 7 years ago.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Just to be able to give back, and just to be able to help, business owners and small businesses, because you know what, some people out there, they do look down on small businesses, and I don't know why, but I don't we should all be in this together. I don't feel like, small
Mm-hmm.
business should get looked over, because everybody has something valuable to give back to someone when they're in, entrepreneurship. They have something to get back. And if we, the people of the community, just take time to see what they have, what they're doing with their business, what resources they are sending out to the community environment, it's all valuable. And for, a firm like Flynn and Associates, like you all, helping the businesses in any way they can, helping them to, keep that business going, is it's an awesome thing to hear.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Karen.
And so and I always ask this too. So what advice would you, Cindy, give, just rising lawyers out there, or someone who is studying for the bar, or what advice would you give them concerning completing their mission, or just anything that they have that they're passionate about? What advice would you give them on how to stay, just how to stay afloat and stay strong in it?
Yeah, it's tough because no, I really think it's important to stay true to your mission and stay true to what you're passionate about, because so many lawyers get out of law school and wherever they land their first job, that's the type of law they practice for the rest of their lives. There's not a lot of like going into different areas. If you land a job at a bankruptcy firm, you're there for life. You're a bankruptcy attorney. If you do crim law after law school, you're a criminal
Mhm.
defense attorney the rest of your life, or working for the DA, right? Like you
Right.
just kind of get stuck in one area. And so it's really important to find an area of the law that you're passionate about. I was working at one firm prior to starting my practice, and I was so miserable there. Like, my boss did not believe in email. We had one email account for the entire office.
Wow.
We did not have voicemail. He like I did so many construction defect PowerPoints. It was horrible. And I was a lawyer. I'm like, why am I doing a PowerPoint? I want to be in court. I want to be representing my clients. Like, these are things that are important to me. And so I
Right.
almost quit the practice of law altogether. I was like, you know what? I've always loved the restaurant business. I'm going to go into the restaurant business. I can even make more money than as a lawyer in the restaurant business. So, I almost quit my job to go there. And then an old mentor and friend of mine from the firm I started at in high school made partner at a firm. And so she brought me to work under her, and it was great. I got to be in court every day. I got to, see what it's like to actually practice law. And then she left the firm, after we were working together for quite some time, and she started her own practice. And she's like, I'd love to take you with me, but I'm just starting over. So there's no way I can afford, an associate to work with me. And so after she left, that's when I really started thinking about what I wanted, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps. And so I quit my job and started my own practice 7 years ago. And, it's funny because as a kid, I always thought like, oh, I'd have a briefcase and I'd be in downtown Los Angeles, representing my clients. And the reality is so different than that on what your day-to-day schedule is. But I mean, my advice really to those attorneys who are just starting out, or anyone starting a business, you just have to go for it and find an area that you love to do, that you're passionate about, and it just makes work not seem like work.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Thank you so much for that advice, Sandy. And you said the keyword passion. Like you have a passion for the people, the community, the environment, people that you are very concerned about, just definitely get out there and, put one foot out there. And, I always say it's going to take time, but if you don't get started and then it won't get completed. So thanks so much for sharing that information. And I'm definitely going to keep in touch. And I definitely wish Flynn and Associate success, as well as your family, and hoping everybody's safe out there in California. We do think that, there have been some talk about, even shutting North Carolina down again. They're not sure, but, again, we as women today, we just want to make sure that we encourage, each other to keep fighting and keep completing what they have started, even if they, haven't started yet. Just encourage them to get started and to complete their mission, and just identify the areas where they need to get started. And it's just so ironic how even in this season that we're even talking about just mission and purpose, and just pulling out everything that's in our hands so we can get started, because we don't know that there's a lot of people out there that can benefit from it. There's a lot of people out there that just sitting and they just don't know where to get started. So thanks so much for that advice, and thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule just to come and speak on the WC to Life Purpose Coaching Podcast. I definitely appreciate it.
Oh my goodness, of course. Thank you so much again for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And yes, and before we go, likewise, and before we go, can you tell everyone how they can find you, and how they can find as far as your handles, or how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, of course. So my website is www.hacklerflynnlaw.com. And my email address is just Cindy, CINDY, at hacklerflynnlaw.com. And you can also follow us on Facebook, which is just facebook.com/hacklerflynnlaw.com.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And I'll definitely also to pin that information to the podcast as well for other viewers. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And we will definitely stay in touch and stay connected. And I hope that you have a great rest of your afternoon, Miss Cindy. And I hope your family and everyone out there continue to be safe.
All right. Thanks, Karen. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining the WC to Life Purpose Coaching Podcast. And we will see you again on another episode. Take care.